Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of The Threat of Intimacy. I am your host, Solo Darling. Whew. How is everyone today? I love Sundays for streaming. Also Loki does too. We are counting down currently the days until graduation. So, so it's been kind of crazy. I'm really looking forward to graduating for a million reasons, but also so that I can really dive in here and focus on my fun streaming projects that I have, because I have so many ideas that I really want to follow through with. So I'm excited. My apologies. I know I'm running a little bit behind. I do want to address that because I know what time it is. I was having some technical difficulties here, but it's all good. It's all good. Nothing that is gonna nothing's gonna slow me down too much. Just your normal oh wait, I have to tag everything, and oh wait, is it live? Okay, great. Is the camera working? Do we have sound? Wonderful. I am so all of those wonderful things. Hey, Suzanimal. Welcome. Thank you. The graduation officially is May 14th and May 15th. May 15th is where everyone can do, you don't need a ticket. It's everyone can hang out. Hey, Tucker. Welcome to the chat. Just getting zazzed out. I have my little watercraft. Look how fancy I am. I'm so fancy today. What? So, let's just get sidetracked really quick. I am currently working on a new diet, and while I didn't just dive head first, like people do, normally I do, I had to give myself some credit because of school. So I have to pause on the sushi or adjust the sushi for Sundays if I want to keep the tradition. I have to cut the rice. Big struggles. I don't know if anyone else is on the getting their groove back or their fitness where they want it to be and are trying to find a new thing. But if you are, let me know. I have a few of my friends are trying things, and my brothers, and so we're all just kind of collaborating on that. We're all at different stages of ow. So we'd be happy to share things that are working for us or ways that we're approaching it. Today on The Threat of Intimacy, we have a very special guest, and I have to hook her up with the link so that she can come on this show. I realized that we are not friends on Discord, so I'm doing this a little bit differently than I normally would, because PCs and Macs, they just don't they don't mix. I don't know. Hey, Hawk. Is it Hawkeels? I promise I don't mean to butcher pronunciation, but I do not mind committing to trying all of the pronunciations available. Let me know. Welcome to the chat. Let me know. Or Hawk. I could just do Hawk. It's fine. I'm going to send Val the link. Give me 1 second. There was a time I thought I could multitask. I think I still can. Where that is, I don't know. Where my multitasking begins and ends, I'm not quite sure. Here we go. I said, bros, what's my weakness? Pizza. All right, cool. The link is sent. Hey, Val Pancakes is in the chat. I have to like actually log in like so that I'm able to like so I'm able to do that. Let's see. I got everything all hooked up here. It's been quite a day. I'm very transparent here. I hope you all know that. And if you're first time and you're watching and you're just passing through and you're gonna take a couple minutes here, that's kind of my deal. Just it's really hard to be anything else. Unless it's like really acting and you're asking me to do this and perform as something else, and then I will do it because that is what acting is. But as far as things like this are concerned, or streaming or podcasting or things like that, I think it's imperative to be our most authentic selves, right? And so I just kind of roll with it as I'm still like learning all of this stuff. So I'm just like, yep, here we go, spaghetti at the walls. So I woke up today with a killer migraine. It was like the Hudge, just like, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna miss it. As a wrestler for a decade and a half, how do you miss a show, right? That's just not like a conceivable thought. And you could take that from any angle, right? The reasons why we become resilient, or the reasons that push us through things, I do believe have to do with like where we come from, how we were raised, our culture. In this society, our ethnicity, our gender, our ability to allow ourselves a certain amount of vulnerability, in our professional world. And that kind of just like shapes who we are. I don't necessarily think all of it is a hindrance, or look at it as a negative. We can certainly take it like that. And I think to some degree, acknowledging that things, affect us certain ways is the positive, right? Like it's saying it's okay to not be okay is the thing. It's not saying it's okay to blanket over it. It's acknowledging the whole. But I wound up taking this new medicine that I've been like working on, seeing if it's working, and it's like it's all right. It's not bad. It's different. It's Ubrelvy. I don't know if anyone is taking that or has experience with that, and they want to just like, comment on the YouTube when this gets uploaded or in the chat or anything like that. But it's like it's fine. It's a triptan for those fellow science buffs out there. And I feel all right. I do also kind of want a pizza now, but definitely also don't want a pizza at the same time. It's just like I want to smell it and like maybe eat a little, but not really commit to it. It's kind of where I am. Hey, Wolf. It's good to see you. So this show is going to start adding a couple of fun features. Well, I mean, eventually a lot, but a couple of fun ones to start. And I might play with where I put that. So right up front, off the bat, I want to start kind of throwing out things that I have learned through positive psychology or a combination through neuroscience classes. Because what those two disciplines really did, while bringing, all of it together, right? Because they're just talking in their language, and I did yoga, I practice, I'm a spiritual person, like I have all these other mediums that kind of like culminate. They really do have research and studies that show certain experiential assignments help people through depression or stave off depression for minimal amounts of like 6 to 8 months at a time, through practices of these experiential exercises that can also fall into things like cognitive behavioral therapy or, DBT or any of those, right? And we got to do some, and they're just practices like under the assignments we did in class. It was do 5 random acts of kindness and you journal about it, right? Really fun things like that. I'd like over the next couple of shows to share some of those with you all. And if you would like. I would like, but obviously, if you would like to participate and try them out, journal about it. If you'd like to share it, I would love to hear about it, right? I'd love to hear how that went for you, how it felt, how the people that received it felt. That's the stuff that really excited me about those classes, especially in the relationships classes I took. A lot of it was observation. And so the only one that I want to pitch first and foremost, given that amount of context and it being kind of like a nice, slow, chill day, is merely observation. I'll be doing these as well, and I'll keep them in my journal, and I will be sharing. I will never ask you all to do something that I wouldn't do, or be like, hey, over there, be vulnerable. I'm just gonna stay back here and not. No, absolutely. I'm ready. So one exercise that I enjoy doing from time to time without losing my place in being present is merely observation. How are you with yourself? How do you talk to yourself? And that's not like the quick snap judgment, right? Not like, oh, I'm so mean to myself. Like we all have that like instinctive snap of like, ugh, I'm a dick to myself. Like, no, not really though. Maybe, but wait. Observe it. How do you touch yourself? And I don't mean that necessarily in the like immediate like sexual sense. I mean, if you shave, when you clean stuff out of your eye, if you wear stockings, when you pull up your stockings, or when you dress yourself, or when you adorn yourself, or put lotion on. If you do, if you don't, you should. We should talk. Message me. You need a skincare routine because it feels good. What are those interactions you have with yourself? And then when you observe them, what's that feel like? What happens in that moment? And those things you don't necessarily have to share. But those questions, where do they lead? Do you wind up becoming more curious with yourself? I would hope so. So that in and of itself that can be like a whole thing. But I'll wrap it there as like, that's the experiential assignment, which I'll give some kind of like saucy name over the week or so, to share with you all. I really enjoy that practice. It brings me back to kind of like oh, hey, I'm being rough right now, or like, oh, I'm saying that, like, why am I saying that? Or even a notice of like, after all these years, that was pretty nice. I finally got there, like with something small, but it's big to me, So things like that make a huge difference over time. And once I started to notice little changes and like check in with myself, I think those feelings are worthwhile to investigate. But now, let's talk about Val Pancakes. Her pronouns, I gave it away, are she, her. She's pansexual, whoop whoop, and polyamorous. And her bio, I will read from her perspective. She's a pansexual, polyamorous fat babe in her late 30s. She has unmediated ADHD. She works with Magnum Wrestling in Omaha, Nebraska. And she has a podcast where she interviews indie wrestling people on the Bald Monkeys Network called The Stack. And you can also find her contributing to Grit and Glitter, which I did. It's a fantastic podcast. It focuses on women and marginalized genders in wrestling. She is fortunate enough to be able to travel for wrestling, which I love that, Val, and I'm so happy that you get to travel for wrestling, because that was one of my favorite features of being a wrestler, is the traveling and getting to see all of the cool places. I will share all of her social media in the front and the back end of this show. It's Val Pancakes on Twitter, val.pancakes on Instagram, Val Pancakes 2 on Venmo, and $ Val Pancakes on Cash App. So without further ado, let's see if I can bring in our glorious guest. Whoop, whoop. Do, 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 do. work? Did it work? Are you here? I see you, but I don't see you. I don't hear you. Hold on. Where is it? There we go. I got you. I figured it out.
Oh, there we go. I just need to quit touching stuff.
Me too. I was touching the wrong stuff. I need to start touching the right stuff.
Girl, I feel that.
Seriously. Welcome to the Threat of Intimacy.
Hello.
How are you?
I am absolutely wonderful.
Yay. Happy Sunday.
Yes.
All right. So, let's dive in. Let's just dive in. So, intimacy is this, huge word. I don't know if you know how I came up with the title, but it is a quest on Final Fantasy Online. And I just thought it was perfect because, I feel so many people, it's such a big word. Intimacy can mean so many things. So I'd like to ask you, what does intimacy mean to you?
I guess, shorthand, it's people that you let yourself be vulnerable with. And part of that is intimacy, I guess. I'm not really, I haven't really thought about it until just now.
Oh, great. Good. We can unpack it together. I love it. I love it. My chair's all squeaky.
I think there are different kinds of intimacy. There's sexual intimacy, but there's also emotional intimacy. And those two things sometimes go hand in hand, but not always.
Yeah. An intimate moment with a stranger could be a bus breaks down while you're all on it. And you're all just there for hours. It's happened, but I was just I was making up the example and I was like, damn, that's actually happened.
Right? It could be a very specific situation where, you just kind of two people come together and have that moment. And then, for just off the top of my head, for me, an example would be I have a friend, he's just a friend. He's somebody that I know through wrestling that works with my local company. But, at the end of December, I work with Magnum Wrestling. The owner passed away. I was at a different wrestling show when I found out, this person came and told me about it. Okay. And, I just sat there and, held him and cried, which that to me is a very intimate moment, but I wouldn't consider myself intimate with that person. Right. Yeah. It was very, situational.
Right. There's definitely, situational intimacy. But yeah, tell me more about that. So for you, where does your intimacy flow in and out? Right. What do you consider intimacy with a person, right? You're polyamorous. Tell me about that.
So my capacity to love is infinite. Some people I think look at love in a way where it's I have 100 love points and I can only use my 100 love points. But I have an infinite number of love points and I can give everybody 100 love points. I have no, just because I love one person doesn't negate how much I love another person. That's just how I feel. I know that not everybody is that way. And that's not only just a sexual love, but that is my friends and my family and strangers. I don't know. Yeah. I'm a feelings kind of gal.
Yeah, you're in a feelings room here. I'm a feelings girl. I'm with you. The feelings are. I'm a Pisces. I hear that all the time, so I guess that's why I said it. I feel like if I say that, people understand. I don't fully, but in the water, the emotions. So if love is infinite, which I agree, love is infinite and universal. So what about time? How does that work? Or what's the biggest relationship you had? Would you want to share that? Yeah. I'm me curious.
I'm pretty open about stuff. I've never been good in relationships. And only recently have I discovered that I think part of that is because I am polyamorous, and I really like only have recently come to this conclusion because I have a hard time putting the burden of my neediness on one person. I like to spread that around.
Ooh. You want to unpack that, babe? You want to talk, because that's a whole, that's, you want to tell me about that?
I consider myself a burden on everybody that I come across. I am simply a burden for existing. So
you're not. You're a gift for existing. You are unique in all the world. That's not something that's something I believe. That's a belief. That's truth. See, Loki believes it.
So I guess part of that is like I'm very much like when you talk love languages or whatever, I'm very much a quality time kind of person. And I like to spend time with people. But at the same time, not the same person. I don't know. I was in a relationship for like really the past year. I kind of ended it in February. And it was really just because all of a sudden I was like, I don't really want to be in a relationship. It was nothing wrong with the person I was in a relationship with. I still love him very much. We talk all the time. We talk every day. He's still one of my best friends. But I just can't see myself in a relationship where the end goal is like marriage. And like definitely not children. So
that's super okay. You don't like have to. Yeah, nobody's got to have them. Like nobody's got to have. I mean, I want them, but that's that's because I want them. You don't have to want them either.
Yeah,
that's okay.
No.
Oh, did your partner want them? And that because that
no.
could okay because that's always a little.
But I have had partners where after a while it was kind of. It's one of those things I bring up early in a relationship because like I said, I'm in my late 30s because truly I am 37 today. I will be 38 tomorrow.
That's right, everyone. Val Pancakes has a birthday. I wasn't sure when we were going to bring it up. So this is a birthday episode. So we're going to put those that PayPal and that Cash App at the end too. The Venmo, right? All that. Birthday girl. So yeah, so you want to bring that up. It's important in case somebody does want kids,
Yeah. Like I'm not getting any younger. I tend to date younger people, but not always. And that's something that I just want to be upfront about because there's really no sense in us wasting our time if you want kids and I don't. I can tell you right now that I never will.
It's the same. Like I want to be with someone that would want kids because I want to have kids, and like if they don't, like that's totally cool. I support that. Like, I don't know if I can or not, but I also want to like have that option and not be like, right? Well, we've spent 6 years together. Okay. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat real quick. We got a handful of people jumping in. Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Scuba
friends.
Steve, Scotty Sativa. I feel like is Scotty Sativa. Are you a long lost cousin to my alter ego Sally Sativa? And then we've got Suzanimal in here. I've got so much love to give. I don't know where to put it. It's put it everywhere. Well, I mean, we'll talk details about that. I don't want to just give random advice. So I don't want to be yelled at is interesting. So why would you assume that you're going to be yelled at in a relationship? That says more about the type of partners that you're picking and anticipating having, and the patterns that you're in, more so than a relationship. Because you can have a relationship of any type. It depends on where you're at and the inner work you're doing, and then the type of partners that you are selecting.
Yes.
But just throwing that out there. We got Nasty Leroy in the chat. Are you
familiar? Nasty.
Yeah, Nasty Leroy. Oh my goodness. Hello, welcome. There you go. All right, I guess we're all caught up on there. Good, welcome everyone. I love it. What happened at the end? It just didn't feel like it.
Yeah. So part of it too is that like we were kind of a long distance thing. There's like 4.5 hours between us, and it was, and our schedules are different enough that it was hard to see each other. And there's been talk about me moving, but I don't want to move to where he is. He doesn't want to leave, and he would not be happy leaving. So it was kind of one of those things where it's like, we've been doing this for like a year. It's not, I don't want to say like, what's the point, but like kind of,
yeah.
So it was one of those things where it's like, I will look, like I said, we're still friends. Like I talked to him right before I got on here today, and I will talk with him tonight before I go to bed, like I do every night almost. And he's very sweet, and I do love him very much. It was never anything that wasn't that we didn't love each other or whatever. It was simply just like, I think things just weren't going in any clear direction.
Yeah.
And, I still plan on going to visit sometimes to see him. Things aren't really going to change, except that there's not really like a label or long-term expectations on it.
Yeah. It's helpful. It's more loving to be honest about where you're at rather than having unnecessary pressures on the relationship. It's like it's caring for the relationship. Just kind of alleviating that. Sounds
and
like
I want him to be happy, whether that's with me or somebody else. Like, I love him enough that I want him to be happy. And if he finds somebody, local to him or somebody that's willing to move to him or whatever that makes him happy, that changes our relationship, I understand and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's tough. I've been there. And you could also find someone too. And I'm sure that he will love and support you through it.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't feel like I am in a geographical location where people are just like, I feel like people just aren't into fat chicks here, which, like, I'm a fat chick. Like, it's fine. Like, I've always been a fat chick. I will probably always be a fat chick. Like, I'm not scared of identifying as such. People have been calling me fat for years, so I might as well take it and own it, right? So I just have a hard time meeting people like here. And so I'm trying to leave.
Yeah, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Philly's right here.
I'm looking to go somewhere where the winters just don't suck quite as much as they do here.
Yeah.
Because I am real tired of being cold.
It was cold here, but it didn't even snow this winter. Like, I'm pitching. I was like, Philly's got... like, if you're looking for people, Philly's great.
You're not the first person to tell me to move there, but...
Oh, good. So we're all putting our votes in. For Val to come over here.
I went at the end of 2021, and I visited Philly for a few days and hung out with a friend, and I enjoyed the city. It was nice, but I don't know if I could live there.
Yeah, I was looking for like the burbs next to the city.
Like, I'm from a really small town, and cities are generally just a little frightening.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm from a town of 50 people.
A what?
That's where I grew up, in a town of 50 people.
50?
Yes.
Wow! I had someone tell me the other day their town was small, and it was like 10,000, and I was like, what?
Oh.
And this wins. Oh my goodness! What places sound appealing?
I'm looking kind of at the area around Louisville, Kentucky, like the Indiana part, not the Kentucky part.
I lived right by there in Louisville, like closer to the Indiana side.
Yeah,
where all the malls are. That's where I lived.
So
nice.
That's one place I'm looking at. One of the other places is like Chicagoland, like not in Chicago, but like outside of Chicago.
There are a lot of wrestling people there.
Right? So those are kind of like my top two.
Those are your top two. Okay. All right. I'll keep an eye out. I'm also trying to leave this area because I'm not
You want me to move there, and you're trying to make me? And you're trying to leave?
I would go to Philly with you. I'm in like South Jersey.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to leave South Jersey. I am from the Bronx. It's hard enough to say that out loud. But Jersey's been good to me, and I do have to say that. I have to, everyone in New York listening, Jersey's been good. But, it's time. It's time.
Right?
Yeah.
But, I feel it.
And that way you have more opportunity to experience, like a lot of love. Like, we all have a lot of love to give. And when people recognize it and embrace it like you have and are like, yeah, I'm just, like, I'm trying to be out there. And, like, I have all this love. Then, like, yeah, we got to get you closer to a city. Man, not in a city, but we got to get you closer to where people are at.
Like, right now I live in Omaha, Nebraska, which is a city. It is, but it is a lot of, like, families and stuff. And what the hell good does that do me?
Yeah, they're done. They did it.
Yeah, or it's people looking for families, and I'm like, well, I'm not having children with you, and I don't want, and like, no shade to any parents. Please don't take this that way. I just know myself. I know that I never want kids in any capacity. I do not want my own kids. I do not wish to be a step parent. I am a hot mess of a person most days, and no children deserve better than to deal with me. So
see, you're a wonderful person, so I'm gonna just let you have you don't want kids, but I'm not gonna agree that somebody would be better off, because you don't know yourself when you have an unexpected life to care for.
Oof. I can really care for this life, and it's expected. I wouldn't want a surprise life.
It's true. I don't have kids, but the 5 animals, they keep me up in the morning. They get me going.
I have one cat. Her name is Magellan. She's sweet, and I love her.
Magellan.
But like, some days I'm just like, this cat. And so if I'm like that with a cat that's relatively like takes care of herself and doesn't care about me at all, I just don't think that a child is right for me. But I know that, and I'm not going to try to. I think it would be unfair to anybody to have to rely on me like that. Like, my life is a mess. I like my freedom. I like being able to like pick up and go and do things, and like eat chips for supper, and like, who cares? Like, and like, you can't do that when someone relies on you. And I do not have the mental capacity to take care of anything.
Yeah. So what is your ideal like?
My ideal like relationship?
Yeah.
I just want somebody that I can see every now and again, maybe spend some time with. Hopefully it's somebody that, because I do enjoy sex. I'm like normal, like, and not that you're not, but like, that didn't come out right. Like,
no, it came out. It came out.
Not perfect. That you're not normal if you don't enjoy sex, because people have all different spectrums of what they enjoy and don't enjoy. Yeah. But I personally very much enjoy sex.
You're normal for you. You're
yeah.
I got what you meant, which is, that's why I was like, it's perfect. You just mean you're like, for me, my body, I'm normal. For me, my body likes it. I'm like,
yeah. Like,
yeah.
And I understand that some people don't, and I totally get that. But for me, I do. And very much just want somebody that I can vibe with in that way. Because again, like I said, like, if sex is not a thing for you, then we're probably going to be friends. And that's cool. I have lots of friends. I'm great with friends. But that's not somebody I would consider a relationship with, probably. Like a intimate, like not intimate, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like as like a partner situation.
So, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I just, because I know that you'd kind of messaged me about a specific topic. And since we're kind of getting there, about, you had asked me something about libido
Yeah.
in my messages. So I'm going to take a little sippy sip here, and then I'll be right back.
Me, my protein shake. That's my sip.
I have strawberry lemonade, and I'll tell you, truly
Ooh.
delightful.
Ooh, I'm jelly.
But I guess like for me, I like sex. I like touching. Like I'm very touchy feely, just generally as a person. I am also a hugger. Like I will hug a person if they consent to me hugging them. Uh, I'm not just gonna hug like people. Like I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable because I'm a hugger, so I don't want to force my hugs on people.
Like hug when they're like just turning around or something. I've had that happen. Like people saying hello and you're like becoming aware they exist, and you're like, oh hello, okay. Oh
Right?
gosh.
Like my mind is like focusing, and like all of a sudden I'm just like accosted.
Yeah.
But no, so that's something that if I feel like it's worth talking about, and if that's something that like if for some reason I was in a relationship and had a partner and they had wanted more sex than I was able to give them, I would encourage him to safely seek it elsewhere. Like,
Yeah.
and I guess that's maybe part of like the polyamorous thing too, is that like not everybody can always fulfill every need that you have, and it's okay to safely seek out ways to fulfill those needs elsewhere.
Is there like an etiquette that people that are polyamorous just like have or talk about, or is that something that's case by case, or are people figuring it out because it's being talked about more?
I think all of the above. Like for me, again, this has kind of been like a recent thing, and mostly because honestly, I've just been single like most of my entire adult life. Like I've had a few like short relationships, but nothing really over 6 months. And I think it's not that I ever cheated on my partners. I think it was just like a gradual loss of interest on both parties because I was ghosted, but really I wasn't that upset about it. Like,
Oh, what were they like?
mostly fine. I
Ooh.
mean, that's the thing too, is like I have no like real like it's like yeah, they were all right, I guess. Like
Yeah, so they weren't hitting the spark to like really capture your attention.
no, my attention span is pretty intermittent. So so I think that's part of it too. Like if somebody wants to be like in a truly committed me and them exclusive relationship, like I'm not the broad for it because my attention span does not allow for such things.
What if someone came along that was similar, that but like was about you and was like, all right, like let's keep it fresh. Like what if someone was like coming up to you and being like, yeah, let's keep it fresh. Even if you were both together in some tandem and maybe you brought people in, but you're the tandem. Like you're the
I would
team.
I would be okay with that, but if I wanted like I don't want to say an exclusive partner. What's what I'm looking for? Like a lifelong partner maybe, or
Yeah, right.
um somebody that would you know be my primary partner maybe is the way to look at it. Um it would have to be somebody that can match me. Like straight up match my energy as far as like I have at least until the end of July. I have a job. Like I have a car I can drive. I pretty much am able to take care of myself for the most part. Like don't get me wrong, there are things I clearly need help with. But, I'm very fortunate that I have people in my life that are willing to help me with things I need help with. My best friend and I complement each other really well in that regard. We've been best friends for almost 20 years now. Um,
Yay.
Truly, it's very crazy. She's my best friend. We've been besties for 20 years. And her and I just like we're like very much complementary to each other. Like the things that she needs help with in life are things that I'm usually pretty good at. And the things that I need help with in life are the things that she's usually pretty good at. So we have a really good balance. But I would need somebody that's willing to like, that can match me. Like I don't mind like helping people and stuff, but I don't want to have to like do everything for you. Like I want somebody that's kind of willing to, you know, be in their own independent circle, but be in their own independent circle with me, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like a best friend that's also like cool with the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's cool
Like,
with that. Yeah, like a little like best friends with like the sauce.
yeah. Yeah. Like, you know, somebody that I'm not going to have to be like, somebody that has like a job, like, and makes money. So it's
Oh
not like
my
I'm not
gosh, yeah.
supporting you. Like, cause I'm really like, you know, I do okay for myself, but like, I'm not like sugar mama rich. So like, don't ever expect that out of me ever. Like, that's never going to occur.
You've all been warned. But I hear you. Yeah, of course. It says a lot about like people you've probably ran into, and I mean that could have shaped like where you're at too. Is like running into people that aren't meeting those standards. Then like where what do you let? Then yeah, of course. Then nobody's meeting up. Nobody's matching you.
Right.
So what are you gonna do? Slow down for someone?
I tried that like a couple times, and that really just didn't work out well for me. So I'm just not going to do that anymore.
No, I've done it too, and you feel like you're reaching back. It's like, it's just I don't know. It feels like this like train crash or something because like you slow down and then I don't know. It stops everything, and then it feels like you have to catch up after. Yeah, it's like a lag. I don't know.
Yeah, and I just like, you know, going back to like, I don't want kids because I don't want to have to take care of something else. And like, I feel that way about my partner too. Like, I don't want to have to, like, okay, now it's time we do this. And it's time we do that. Like, no.
Yeah.
It's just not. I need somebody that's relatively independent.
Like a grown up. A grown up who's got an active relationship with themselves.
Right. And, you know, like I said, I get everyone has weaknesses and stuff. Like last night I had to change my license plates on my car, and I just could not get the back license plate off at all. Like I am like a weak little like marshmallow lady. Like I have no strength at all. And so I had one of my friends I had wrestling last night. So I just worked the door, but it's a thing that I do. And I had one of our wrestlers. I was like, "Hey, Brandon, can you get these screws off for me?" And he did, and I appreciate it. But but those are the kind of things where I'm like, yeah, like I can help you with like if you need me to like, you know, do like stuff like that, but like not like the big stuff, you know.
Yeah, the big stuff should be stuff that you can collaborate on together and like complement each other, hopefully, in those ways, because it's hard enough. And I think those are basic needs though. You're not asking for anything outrageous. Those aren't like outrageous asks what you're asking for. Like I hear hesitance and like when you led with like you're a burden, like you're not a burden. So like all those kind of coming together, like I can see, but you're not asking for anything outrageous. Those are very standard things. Like take a shower, have a job, be independent, but be there for me. I'll do the same. It's crazy because I've had these talks with my brother, and we would just be like, where are they? Like, what's happening? Why? And like, and online dating is hard as it is. And they say, you know, and the profiles are like, you know, looking for good communication, a partner to go through the messes of life. And you're like, oh yeah, that's me. And they can't tie their shoes. And you're like, okay, let's take a step. Are you good? It's not what it says here.
Right? Oh, online dating. Oofta.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I mean, I have gone through the entirety of it. Like, I truly have. I've tried just about everything. And eventually I got so fucking mad. Because I was just, like, tired of wasting my time. And just meeting up with people that were just straight lying to my face.
Oh.
Like, after, like, date number 2, then they're like, oh, I have a kid. I'm like, bitch, I told you I don't want your children.
I told you.
and then they're like, well, I never see them. That doesn't make it better. I'm sorry. You don't ever see your kid?
Yeah, that's kind of
worse. Is that
worse.
a selling point? Right? I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. That tells me so much more. I don't want to know.
Right? Like, that's not helping your case, friend. And I get that there are a multitude of reasons why people may or may not be able to see their children. But, like...
Yeah.
At the same time.
But at the same time, like, you gotta, like... I know it's hard, too, for parents to be, like, trying to online date. That's, like, a whole thing. I did go on dates with a handful of single parents, and I was like, yeah, like, it's cool. Like, we're about that age. 36, like, we're gonna run into those parents. It's cool.
Yeah. But, like, I'm very upfront about not wanting to be with somebody with kids, so I would just expect the same courtesy.
Yeah.
I guess of, like, what makes you think that you and your child are so special that I'm just going to change my entire philosophy on life? Nope.
It is. It's always the exception. Or maybe that was not really it on your profile. It's like, no, that was really it on my profile.
Right? Like, I wasn't lying about that when I said I was child-free. Like, I was pretty adamant.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even like playing with dolls when I was a kid. Like, dolls were boring. I like playing with Barbies because you could dress them up and make them do adult things.
Yeah. Yeah, I had had a gambit of them. I had the Barbies, some turtles.
Right?
The whole... You gotta have an array of them.
Right?
Can you imagine? Oh my god. I can't. So are you off online dating now? Is it offline dating?
It is not looking at this point.
We're not looking.
I did attempt probably like maybe a month or two ago to get back onto Tinder. But fun fact for everybody out there, I am banned from Tinder.
What did you do?
I don't know. That's the thing. I genuinely have no idea. I don't know if somebody didn't like something that I said to them, because sometimes I get a little lippy in the DMs, and reported me a bunch, or I've heard kind of like not officially, but kind of unofficially that sometimes like if you're older or not like conventionally attractive, that Tinder will like do that to you. But also, I was really mad because I was talking with somebody about death matches in my DMs, and I was so excited. And like that's how I found out I was banned. I was like, oh, I need to go talk to her about these death matches. And then I was found out that I was banned.
Wow.
And I was like, so I don't know if it's because we were talking about death matches and it was like triggering words that like a filter like reads out of context and then like is like no.
Yeah.
But
oh, that's so sad. And also, like, what?
Yeah. Yep. Banned from Tinder. The only way for me to get back on at this point would be to use an alternate phone number. And I tried to download like an app where it gives you just like a burner number, but they wouldn't take it. So I don't really want to go like to like Walmart and get like a burner phone just so I can use Tinder. Like that's not like
that's so much. That's like
right?
that's a lot of effort
for something that will produce no results, I'm sure.
Yeah, like how far do you want to go for the result of
right? Disappointment. I can have disappointment without doing all that.
Yo, I can't. Tinder, come on, Tinder.
So I'm reading in the chat here. It looks like Google Voice numbers are acceptable. So I might actually try that.
Google Voice?
I will try that and I will report back.
Yes, please let us know how Google Voice does. Yo, that is wild.
Because if I can go on Tinder
Free
and harass.
Val. We'll make free Val t-shirts.
Yeah,
no.
banned from Tinder.
That's
because reasons I'm not quite sure, but
for reasons unknown. It is weird that like you don't get like a thing to like let you know.
all they'd say is that like you've been banned because you violated terms of service, and that was it. Like, but I don't know what I would have violated in terms of service, but also I'm sure that lots of people violate terms of service and probably don't get banned. So I don't know I don't know where I picked it up, but
yeah,
I will. As soon as we're done, I'm gonna get a Google Voice number and I'm going to try to re-sign up for Tinder. Yes, I am.
I'm so excited. That's gonna be wild.
I'm back, bitches.
Can you imagine just like your new profile picture is like what?
Hashtag Tinder banned.
So anyway, back to libidos.
Yeah. See, this is that unmedicated ADHD that I have that I just everywhere all the time all at once.
I have it as well. Hey Mizan, I saw you pop into the chat. Dating apps. The only one that I had done was Hinge. I signed up for Bumble, turned it on, and then deleted it. And then I was just like, no. And Hinge was something, and then I just stopped. So, hey Darcy, welcome to the chat. Hello. We're just getting into libidos. You're walking right in, stepping right into it. So
I've been using dating apps since the like old timey days of like OkCupid and Plenty of Fish, and even before that, Hot or Not.
Wow, what was it like?
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. My first like real boyfriend I met off of Hot or Not. I was 19, he was 27. That really should have been a red flag, but it wasn't, because I was just so I hate myself now, but like I really hated myself then. I was going through it. And like it was so bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. I hope that he is unhappy.
Oh, yeah, like all the minor inconveniences.
Yes.
Yeah. My favorite one that this TikTok user posted was, I hope that a raccoon starts to give birth on your cloth car seats, and that the raccoon has a doula and encourages it to do many, many positions all over your car seats. You can't get the smell out. I was just like, yes, yeah. It was just like, that was like the longer one, like one of the longer TikToks of all of these inconveniences that are just slightly horrible.
I hope that he stubs his toe every time he wakes up in the morning.
And he's just running late enough that like he can't stop to check the toenail that is just cut himself.
Right.
So he's got to sit with it.
All day.
All day.
Yep. So, libido.
Yeah. I'll send it to you. It's a good one. It makes me laugh every time.
Please do. So, libido. For me, like, I have a pretty high libido. I think that it's something I think you have to discuss it in a relationship, because at some point, if there's like a wild like imbalance, like that's something that will need to be addressed. Especially if one person is really high and one person just has no interest, or like if you come to find out that like maybe your partner is like asexual or something like that, like that's, I guess, part of one of the things that I love about being polyamorous, is being able to, if your libidos don't match, like I said, I would encourage if my partner wanted more sex than I could give them, I would encourage them to safely, look for that somewhere else. If they aren't happy with that solution, then maybe we're not supposed to be together. I want my partner to be happy, whether that's with me or with somebody else.
And what about like fluctuations? So like for me, I would think of it like, all right, if I'm gonna be with somebody, this is how I would do it personally, not like what I would suggest for others. Um, I would be like, well, that's gonna change. You know, like what if I fall ill or they fall ill or just stress or life or whatever. So one of us is higher than the other at some other time. How do you work through that? So do you gain something from working through that with somebody, don't you?
Yeah, I think that if it's something like, especially like you're talking about, where it's maybe something where, like you said, like somebody got sick, or if they were physically unable to for some reason, or even like some days, like I look at myself and I'm just like, ugh, and I don't feel sexy or want to have sex. Like,
I
I don't.
understand.
I look at myself in the face and I was like, no. Like I can understand. Like if I don't feel sexy, then most of the time I don't want to. Like it's hard for me to kind of get there. So I get that. I think it's worth just talking with your partner. I think communication is everything. And if it's a matter of maybe there's toys, or they can do some solo stuff, or you can do solo stuff, um you know to meet somewhere where you're both happy, hopefully.
Yeah, I was like, I was watching Working Moms. I love this show. I love all those like other shows that people don't necessarily like talk or tweet about, but it's really like Working Moms is really good, and they talk about all these different types of relationships too. Like so they cover the gambit, and even in like even married couples that are in their 40s, like what happens, right? Like shit happens. And like in that I like the awkward cringe moments. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the hilarity of what like what happens in your mid 40s when you've had the kids are the whatever, they're going through puberty, or you don't have kids and you're just a couple, and then maybe you get divorced, or maybe you try polyamory in the relationship because you're talking to other people, like all of those things that just happen in life. And I like to kind of like explore that through the shows and then be like, what would that be like? And I think there's like between that show and another one, there's a couple they try to like kind of do that what's that? How to build a sex room. They go to like try to learn like when couples like go take classes to try and do it. And I think there's something there. I think there's something to be like, all right, you're into that. I don't know if I'm into that. I probably maybe not. I don't know. I can't tell you. But sure, let's go to a party and let's try to figure that out. Like I think that's something fun.
Yeah, I think part of it is just like a willingness to compromise, and you know maybe try something or don't. If it's, again, I think it really just boils down to communication, and on a case by case basis, like to see what works for you and what doesn't.
Yeah. Finding somebody that is down for the challenge of like, oh hey, I'm really into this, or like I'm really into this, or finding somebody that matches is difficult.
Yeah.
Do you think that that also can grow from more of the emotional side of the connection?
Yeah, I do. I think that, the more you care about somebody, the more you want to make them happy. And I think that if you care about each other and want to make each other happy, that you can probably find some, middle ground where at least both parties are not unhappy. Maybe it's not ideal, but it's not always about what's ideal. It's about what can you live with and what can't you live with. You know, if I was with, if I was in an exclusive relationship with one partner and they were like, I have no desire to have sex anymore with you or with anybody, I would be upset probably for a little while. But at the same time, like I would want to find a way to make that work for us, whether that's, me finding different people, or whether that's me taking care of myself, or us working together in a different way. There are so many options out there as far as, you know, toys and other aids that can maybe like assist in that process to where you can still be with somebody and love somebody and still have that sexual need met.
Yeah. Do you find that how do you feel in regards to like us and our relationship with ourselves being either an enhancer or an inhibitor for the level of libido we have, and then that being like the level of depth we can reach with another person?
I think that I guess like for me to want to be sexual, I do kind of have to feel good about myself. And my partner can in some ways make me feel good about myself. But there are some times where like I just like not feeling it. I don't feel sexy. I don't feel like having sex. I don't feel like being sexual. Like you can power through it like it's a chore.
I understand. Sometimes you're just like, I can't. Okay, fine, but I can't. Like,
Yeah, it's like, okay, fuck, let's just do this and get it over with. But it's kind of weird because it's like both partners probably want to please the other one. So one partner might be like, I'm going to go without because I love my partner and they aren't feeling it, so I will be okay. The other partner might feel like, well, I know they want it, even though I'm not feeling it, but I love them enough to try. And I think it really just boils down to like communication and what can you deal with versus what can't you deal with.
Yeah. Interesting. How's intimacy like with yourself?
Most days it's not a problem, but recently I've felt like kind of out of sorts about things, and I just was like not feeling myself in any way, shape, form, or capacity. And it was very like I just had to kind of take a break from that part of myself for a while and just kind of let it pass. Like let the wave of like I'm hideous and I feel disgusting pass, or however you want to look at it.
Yeah. Where was that? Where'd that come from?
I'm honestly not quite sure. I do kind of have an idea. So for me, I really enjoy people and friends and seeing people. I love being able to go and like do like wrestling weekends in different places and meet new people, like that constant like stimulation of new people, new places, new experiences.
Yeah.
And I went out to LA for Mania weekend. I had an absolute blast. I met so many people that like I only knew from Twitter, or I saw a bunch of people that I only see, a handful of times a year. And then I got home and then I was gone again. I went another wrestling weekend, saw a bunch of people that I know and met new people, and just like I live in that world then of like constant like highs, right? Because I'm like new people, new places, new experiences. And then I get home and I have no people and no new places and no new experiences. And I just sit on my couch and I hang out with my cat that I love very much. And like to just like go from like that natural high of like all these new like sensory experiences to like this like low of like I am bored and by myself was very hard for me. And it happens every time. I know that it's going to. That like post-trip depression like really sits for me. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like it really does like once it finally hits, it's very hard for me. So that's why I like to constantly be gone on the weekends. I just never like to sit in that. Like it's very hard for me to not do anything.
Oh, I totally understand. I
No
don't
more
know
time
about
left alone
sitting
with my
still. Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah, like sitting still is like the worst. Well, being alone with my thoughts though is not the worst. I could be alone with my thoughts. Sitting still is hard because I feel like I have a million things to do all the time. I mean, I do. But still. What's with your thoughts? Your thoughts are great. Well, your thoughts and your emotions and your mind and your soul are all like different things, all talking in the same room with the same voice. What's confusing about that?
Mine all have different voices and pitches, and they all are telling me different things. And it's like, I'm a crazy person. That's why I have a mental health therapist.
No, we all need them. Everyone needs a therapist. We're very pro therapy here. I think
Right?
everyone needs a sounding board because mental health is just like physical health or like it's you need help. You need somebody that's like non-biased that did the work and the books, and then you can just here it is, and then they go, all right, let's do that. Let's unpack that.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for my therapist. He's great. He's we've been we've been together. That doesn't sound right.
That's your long-term relationship with my therapist.
Right, with my therapist. We see each other for an hour every 2 to 3 weeks. I pay
awesome.
him.
That's lovely.
But,
it's the perfect relationship.
Right? It works for me, And and he's great. Like he's like there's a lot of things that like just like everybody, like there's always things that you're dealing with, and he helps me like kind of sort out some of the things that like I can't say to other people. So but like I feel comfortable telling him because it's not like he's gonna run back and tell anybody, like,
Yeah.
And he doesn't. I don't know him. We are not friends. Like, outside of the hour that I spend in his office, like there's no like weird shit there. So it helps me to go. So I tend to recommend therapy to people.
Yeah, 100%. 100% recommend, because that's it. They're there on purpose for that, so that you can we go in and we say all the things and it goes nowhere because like it's to a professional to help.
Right? I burden him with my problems because I pay him to have them. So
ooh, we're gonna work on that when you move to Philly. I'll help you carry that bag that you've got that says burden on it. That little suitcase in the back there. We'll figure it. We'll unpack that.
Oh,
you're not a burden.
Bless your heart.
It's true.
But so that's like I enjoy going to therapy. Like I said, I'm a big feelings gal. And I'm a crier. Oh my goodness, am I a crier? Like I will cry for anything at any point. Like I can be like stressed out or mad or frustrated or happy or sad. Like there is no emotion for which crying is not the answer.
That's okay. That's okay. Some people it's too hard to cry. And so there's balance in the universe. Some of my friends are also of the same. And sometimes I cry like out of nowhere and then I can't stop for like a week. And then other times I'm just the Sahara Desert in my face. And it's the most appropriate time to cry. And I'm like holding my eye open like, come on! And nothing's coming out. And it's the weirdest thing. It's like not a flex. I'm like, where is it? So it's good. It's good. You're hydrated.
Oh.
Yeah. That means your feelings are right there for you.
Like I said, I'm a big feelings gal.
Yeah. So what are the biggest feelings?
It depends. Overwhelmed. Like a big thing that I feel often is like I feel overwhelmed by like life and everything around me.
Yeah, relatable. Yeah.
So like I've learned honestly like to just like stop thinking about
the best thing you can do with overwhelm is just not worry
about it. Just not worry about it. Like Like, there are lots of things that are, like, terrible in my life, probably. And I choose not to let them have power over me. And, like, I was like, no. Just don't think about it. Just don't think about it. Oh. Ignorance is bliss. If you don't know about it, if you don't think about it, it doesn't exist, and it's not a problem.
Yeah.
And I'll worry about it when it comes, if it comes, you know?
When it comes to overwhelm, it's got to be like the one thing at a time. Take the one thing and make it really small. Which is something my mom taught me, is like whatever the thing is, the car, like the plates, like, okay, like, take it and then just like imagine it really small, and then like it somehow becomes small for some reason, and then it's easier. But like if like it becomes big, then it's like,
Sometimes I get overwhelmed by like big picture thoughts, and I really just need to break it down to like, okay, what's the easiest task that I can do right now? What is the one thing I can do right now to fix whatever situation that I'm in? Like, I can't worry about all of the, like, if I have like, I am my brain and my whole life is just kind of a mess. And now that I'm looking at moving, like, I'm trying to like sort and go through things and downsize and throw crap away, and it's very hard for me. But I try to focus on like small things, like, okay, like today I'm gonna like when it has like, I have all these like shoes that are just kind of crappy, and like they're just, you know, old shoes, and they just sit there. Yeah. And I don't do anything with them. I don't wear them. They just sit there. So one day I was like, okay, today I'm just gonna work on my entryway. I'm just gonna go through my shoes. And so it's like, for me, it's been like, I just need to take out like a bag of trash with me every day. Every time I leave my house for anything except for work in the morning, because work in the morning, I have enough things to worry about. Like, I can't function and worry about anything else. But like, if I'm going to the store, if I'm going to the gas station, like, just like go through something and find a bag of trash and take it out with you.
That's an awesome plan. That is a great plan. I'm going to steal that plan. It's yeah, because then you can just, like, if you're going to donate, or if there are shoes that just got to go, or whatever it is, like, yeah, they're now out, and it's not so overwhelming by the time you actually find a place or decide, you know, wherever the next step is. That's the best way to handle overwhelm.
And, like, I guess that's kind of how I handle it with everything. It's like, okay, just do one thing, like, do this one, like, or at work, like if I'm working on files, like don't worry about like the 7 files, just worry about like the first piece of the one file, and then we can worry about other bits and pieces of things, like,
yeah.
And I have to try to remind myself of that literally all the time, so I don't get overwhelmed by all of the things I have to do to just work on like the one thing, like put the blinders on and just like worry about the one thing.
Yeah. What are the ways in which you put your blinders on? Do you have like a setup music, or like, do you have like a way?
Blinders? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, you have the sensory deprivator 3000. It's just this.
No. For me, like, I like music a lot. I like listening to music. Depending on what I want to do, depends on what I listen to. Like, sometimes I listen to podcasts, sometimes I listen to music. Sometimes I found that, like, especially in the morning, especially on my way to work, I like listening to classical music because I get irritated by morning radio DJs, and I don't like flipping, and I don't like thinking about things. Like, classical music very much is like a tune out kind of situation for me. Nice. And it just allows me to just like immerse myself and not think about stuff. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
sometimes
really
I like
cool.
to listen. Sometimes I like to listen to, like, I'll go on TikTok and just like scroll through the lives and just like pick somebody and just like sit there, because I think that it helps me just to have somebody talking in the background.
Yeah. Yes, I understand. I would do that with like Twitch streams sometimes, like when I got turned on to it. And, like, we would just put somebody on in the house just to have, like, life. It's life. Somebody's on there doing it, you know? They're doing a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
So, yeah. So it's kind of like, it's like somebody's there, especially if I need to, like, for some reason, like, if I'm trying to focus on a task, like, sometimes it helps just to, like, have something to, like, zone out to. I don't know. It's hard to describe. My brain works in a way that I do not understand.
It makes sense to me. I don't know. How else does your brain work? Could you possibly have synesthesia like me? Like, are we gonna find out everything's colors and sound waves and?
I just knocked my background onto the floor with my elbow. So that's cute. That was fun. I was like,
That's great. It was like pouring water.
you're pouring water. I'm knocking crap off my walls. Like, it's
good.
fine.
Hey, we've got it together. We're thriving right now.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that makes one of us because I don't know about this gal.
That's thriving. You're one step closer to packing.
Just taking shit down. One
Just
elbow
going right
at a
in the
time.
box. That's it. It's down.
So yeah, now that it's on the floor,
Yes.
don't mind me.
That's it.
Why not? Let's go.
And so what else? What do you do for for like those wrestle drop off days where like we would get that like depression after, it would be like the Monday, Tuesday after whatever, or if you're traveling a week, like sometimes it would be like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then back on the road. You'd be really down. I tried to like come up with stuff that was rest because like I had to sleep on those days. But like, what about coming up with stuff for you and your cat for those days? So you're like coming home into like activity.
Yeah, like it helps for me to always just have something else planned. Like maybe not this weekend, but like next weekend. Like I have to have things planned. Even if it's small things, like even if it's just like, so like last night I had, I work with Magnum Wrestling. We had a show last night. So then we had a show last night. And then next weekend I'm going to Des Moines for Pro Wrestling Revolver because that's only like 2 hours. So that's like an easy drive. And then I'm going to North Dakota after that, the weekend after that for wrestling. And then I'm going to go home. I'm originally from South Dakota.
Wow.
Right? And I'm going to, because, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska. And so I'm going to stop off and visit my parents.
Yay!
I haven't been home since last June.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I know. I was supposed to go home in November for my cousin's wedding, but instead I was like, but I want to go to Chattanooga for wrestling, so I'm going to do that. Because I learned from my first round of therapy that I went through in college that I hate feeling obligated to do things I don't want to do. And like in some regard, like I have to, right? Like I don't want to go to work every day, but like also I like having a place to live and electricity and food and money to go to wrestling, right? So, okay, that's the thing I have to do. But like, I feel very awkward at family functions because I definitely am very different than the rest of my family. And it's very hard for me to go back to small town South Dakota sometimes and be around people that have not experienced life outside of small town South Dakota, which if that's something you enjoy, that's fine. But there are definitely some interesting things in such a place. And it's hard for me to deal with sometimes. It's something I talk with my therapist about quite a lot. Yes. And I have an appointment on Wednesday, so I think I will bring it up again. Now that I'm going to go home.
Yeah, that's tough. Because what do you do? Because it's family, so you want to go visit, but also like...
It really does take kind of a toll on my mental health to do it sometimes. So it just depends. I try to limit who I have contact with and how much I'm about when I'm home. It's very weird. But, yeah, so I'm going to go see my family. Like I said, I learned from when I was in therapy when I was 19 or 20. I must have been 20. That I don't like feeling obligated to do things I don't want to do. And so now I just don't do that.
Yeah.
I just don't. Like, because I know that it's not going to be a net gain for me. So I don't want to put too much time and effort into some of it sometimes. But that being said, I do feel like I want to try seeing my family again because it's been a while since I've been home.
Yeah.
And I talked to my mom, and she said there's nothing going on that weekend. So hopefully it's pretty chill.
Hopefully, yeah, I was gonna say hopefully it's chill. I was literally gonna say that.
So the other
nice.
thing, my mom, and she was like, so my mom, again, I'm from a small town. My mom, like, my parents have outdoor cats, and because we have wildlife, so the outdoor cats control some of the wildlife. But she loves her cats, and one of her cats just had kittens. And if you don't think I'm trying to go home and play with some kittens,
I mean, like, how are you not gonna play with some kittens though?
right?
Oh, that's so cute. And like, it's good to see family, but like, oh my god, it's so cute.
Right? I'm gonna sit outside and play with kittens, like.
Aw, yeah. Oh.
I will definitely take like way too many pictures of all these cute little kitty cats, and I will post them on Instagram so everyone can see them.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I love kittens. They're so cute.
We named them all after. We've named the last few after wrestlers, so these will probably get named after wrestlers also.
Who've you got?
So my mom, she's a WWE gal. My mom likes wrestling, and she's awesome. Big on. So we have Roman, Jimmy, and Jay, and we have Bianca.
Oh. And
then there was an orange kitty, and that one is Cassidy. Clearly.
Oh, yay! Oh, that's so cute. You got to put glasses on them, and then take a picture with oversized glasses.
I will try to do that. That would be really cute.
That's so funny. Oh. Yeah, he'd get a kick out of that.
So, yeah, and that's like cool too that my mom likes pro wrestling. So she kind of gets it. Like,
yeah.
When I go and do stuff, it's not like completely foreign to her. And like, she's like wrestling for as long as I can, for as long as like I really remember liking wrestling. Probably since I've liked wrestling for as long as I can remember. I just don't ever remember a point in my life where I didn't enjoy it. But when I really got into it when I was like older, like 9 or 10, that's when she kind of got into it. So
that's really cute. That's nice that you have that. Like,
yeah, like 1 year for her birthday, we took her to like an Impact like local show that they were doing. We took her to a pay-per-view for Mother's Day 1 year.
Oh my god. Oh, so it'll be really good to see your mom.
Yeah.
I'm a big mom fan. I always hope the best for the, relationships there. Because it's kind of critical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love my mom. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I love my dad too, but, like, my mom and I connect a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right?
See if there's any wrestling. Go play with kittens. Go see some wrestling.
Right? Just chill,
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's like I'm telling you my whole life story tonight.
I'm very okay with it. As long as you're okay with it, I'm very good for it.
I'm very open and honest about a lot of things. So
same. So feel free if you ever want to ask me something. Even though I'm the host and I ask the questions, you're welcome to ask. Because like I said, I don't want to ask anybody anything that I wouldn't also just ask or volunteer myself. But I like giving people the stage because, like, I think a big part of what's difficult is, like, talking about these topics that kind of bleed into each other because they're vulnerable.
Yeah, and I think that, to kind of circle back and kind of tie everything with a cute little bow, like, I think that, like, kind of how your family situation was raised really colors how you proceed, the rest of your life with intimacy and love and that kind of thing. And I think that I was very fortunate that I, despite, being like a super bitchy teenager, like, came from a place with a lot of love.
That's good. That's good. And it, like, because I mean, I was gonna ask anyway, what it was like growing up. What is it like in your culture? What's intimacy like there? Because that does shape us. That's how we learn how our parents are, or aunts, uncles, those that raise us, the family that we're around, the people that we grow up with in school or the schools we go to. That's kind of how we learn things that we do, and then that's how we learn the things we don't do, that we're less aware of why we don't do them sometimes, the hesitations we pick up, and the borders that we create. Sometimes they're unbeknownst to us, and it's just because of that.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm very fortunate. I come from a place with a lot of love. There were always people around when I was growing up. That's probably why, even like, so I have 2 younger sisters and a younger brother. We are all 2 years apart. My parents got married. 2 years later, they had me, and then my sister, and then my other sister, then my brother. My parents are still together. They've been together this whole time. Right?
It's so cute.
Very, very normal and like boring and like whatever. But I think that, especially like, because again, I'm from a small town, small community where a lot of people like graduate high school and then just like get married right away. Which is fine if that's what you want to do, but that's not where I've ever seen myself. And I still don't see myself. And so it's very weird because like I'm at the age now where I've been out of high school for 20 years. Like I have classmates that have full ass adult children now.
Yep.
Like that's crazy because like I ain't gonna have no full ass adult child.
You're like, I am not the one.
No. So I graduated in a class of 33. So, but I am the only female from my graduating class that is not married or doesn't have kids. Some are married, some have kids, some are both, but I'm the only one that has none.
Wow.
And it's weird to think about. I hope we're not trying to do a 20-year reunion. I'm really not into that.
Let me know. I'll go with you. We're going to Nebraska. Where are we going? We're going home. Dakota, right? We're going to Dakota?
South Dakota,
South Dakota? Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Whatever. We'll bring the entourage. You want me to bring Thor? Put him in a little tux, and he'll be our date.
That would be so cute.
I know. He looks so cute in a tux just for that. Okay. We'll go get twisted at your reunion with Thor. Thor will call us an Uber.
Oh, you think you can get an Uber? Guess again.
That's cute, right? I know. I said it, and I was like, wait a minute. She said 33 people. There's no Uber in town.
But there's always... So I don't drink, so I'm always available to drive to the point where, like, my mom will... Like, if I'm home and my like, there's something going on, my mom will volunteer my services for me and say, oh, no, Val's going to be home. She'll take you home.
Dang! What if you had plans?
Tough luck, Buttercup.
Tough noogies. That's it.
Right?
Wow.
Because like everyone lives like out in the country, and it's like you don't want people to drive drunk, so it's fine. It's whatever. But like. Yeah, it's a whole different world. Like, it's so funny to me.
The closest I got to that was living in Louisville. And that was enough for me. I lived close. I was close to Bardstown Road because that was like where I hung out in the little block. So if you move there, I know where all the coffee shops are because I live there.
Fair enough.
Woo! But like I was like, okay, this is pretty. I gotta go.
So like, when I'm at home, it really is like a very different world. Like things are so much different. And I don't mind it necessarily, but like it's not a life I could see for myself. Like I grew up in a town of 50 people. There was 33 kids in my graduating class. There was my town, another kind of smaller town, and then like the town I went to high school in was like the bigger small town, and that was only like maybe 900 people. So it was like three towns and like all of the country farmer kids, and even like my class really was probably half of us K through 12 together. And I have like two friends from high school that I still like talk to or care to talk to.
Yeah, that's rare. That's super rare. That's I have two people from elementary. So it was the same thing. Even though it was the Bronx, it was like the same thing. It's two people from elementary school because it was K through 8. And then in high school, met those that are known as the Sobro Darlings. And so I've had Pedro and X in my life now for 20 years. 20 years? From high school, yeah, it was nuts. We survived. And then, Tucker, who's in the chat, I've known like 26 years. Bananas to think that. Two people survived from the Dakota series.
So it's very, I don't know, it's just very weird. Like, and I just don't have the same life as other people in where I grew up anymore. Yeah. Which is fine. I was friends with a lot of people because of like physical location, not because we had any common interests. And when I moved away, that became very apparent to me, which is fine.
Yeah.
Not everybody needs to be friends forever all the time. Like sometimes you have friends that are in your life for as long as they need to be, and then you're not anymore. That's okay.
And yep, sometimes that's just it. Like we're this chapter. Okay, cool. Then we go forward. We keep growing, and like we appreciate that. And then that was it.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's amazing to be able to say there are any from our childhood, though, which is like, I feel like that's lit. I'm sorry. I just feel like that's lit because it's like, wow, like somebody knows how you have always laughed.
Yeah. Like, I guess like from my class, there's one girl that I'm still like, I don't see her often because she lives back home and I don't. But like we're friends on Facebook and we still like, she's somebody, if like I'll probably make an effort to see if I'm at home. And she was the only other person in my grade in my little town. We went to the same babysitter before we were in kindergarten. We went to school together. Like,
that's so cute.
we've been friends for, I'm 30, I'm going to be 38. So, probably 35 years.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Since I could form friends. And, so shout out Becky.
Shout out for Becky in the house.
But like, even though we're not close anymore because we're just different paths, she is somebody that I still have fond feelings for, if that makes sense.
Yeah, especially in the formative years, like when you're making friends and you're learning to make friends and you do all the whatever it is or discover things like I had a friend that believed when we were little that if you ate vanilla ice cream it would whiten your teeth. I will never forget that. I thought it was adorable then because I also tried it and then my teeth hurt because it was very cold. I also didn't ask her the process. I acted like I knew what she was talking about. So there was a lot of unanswered questions and questions not asked for that situation. But those little things that we have, like, they make us, they're little, but they're super big. And that's great. That's fucking awesome. Fuck it.
Right?
Yeah. Those are the cool parts about us that grow into, like, all our radioactive neon adult selves that we keep. Otherwise, right? What's the fun?
You can't have a today without having a past, so.
Thank you. Like, how would you
Whatever
get here?
That is, right?
Yeah. I think it's important to embrace it all. And that doesn't mean like you have to like hold on to something with a vice grip or anything. It's just embrace it. It's it's free. It's free to be here, and then ebb and flow.
Right? It happened. You can't go back and change it. All you can do is move forward and deal with it by either just suppressing it and not thinking about it. Because again, I don't think about things that I don't want to think about now.
How does that work?
I just try not to. I try to think about literally anything else. I will.
Is there a limit? Is there like do you categorize? I think that's what my ADHD brain wants to know about your ADHD brain. Mine categorizes levels of like, I need to deal with this. This is inner work. This is like, I don't know what this is. Why am I still on Amazon? Like there's like categories to the level of importance.
There's things that I can do stuff about, and there are things that I cannot do stuff about. Like, truly, like, I have student loan debt. If I think about it, it does get me depressed. So you know what? You know what I do? I just don't think about it. I just don't think about it.
Me either.
Not going to worry about it.
And if we all don't think about it, maybe the universal consciousness will erase it.
Right? That's what I'm hoping for.
Me too.
I'll be flat out honest. Like, I'm just literally never going to pay that off ever. It might as well be $1 million billion. That's equally as like normal to me. Like, it's Monopoly money. It's ludicrous.
It's Monopoly money. It's like, whoa, really? Oh, okay. And you're going to add interest. That's cute.
Right? Okay. I'm not going to pay that either. I don't know what you want from me.
It's like, oh, okay. You need the interest. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Right.
Our books haven't been updated. Good. Right. They're all online now, but okay. You need this money.
Right? I don't think that is just not that important to me, right? Like, I can't do anything about it. I can't pay that down tomorrow. Yeah. So, like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to not think about it because it does me no good.
I think that's the important nuance. Yeah.
Another thing I like to not think about is retirement. I'm not saving for retirement. Like Social Security, by the time I'm old enough, which they'll probably bump the age to like 87 or something anyway. Yeah. Not going to be there. Not going to be there for me. So I just hope that I die before it's a problem for me. Like, I'm just not going to think about it.
Come into some money and you're good.
Or die and not think about it.
Or
I'm
third option, if
with
we're
my attitudes towards death.
If we are AI, if we're just like bionic by that point, we don't have to pay anything.
Right? What's the point?
Because like
I don't have to worry about medical bills.
We don't have to anymore. Yeah, so like we're good. We just go play with kittens. We're fine.
Right? What are you gonna do? Like power me down? Like I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's not bad then. Yeah. It's important to be like, yeah, I can't do anything about this. What I can do is this, because then like that's functional for me. When I'm overstimulated, I get that like, I don't know if you get this from the ADHD side of your brain. It's only a part of the brain,
right?
Is where that you get that paralysis where you're like, you're doing good, and the overwhelm sits in, and you're like, all motor functions have ceased.
I will now scroll on TikTok and I will open the same 4 apps just incessantly until I fall asleep. It's just like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, rinse and repeat.
Oh my gosh.
Doom scroll until my eyeballs are tired.
It's like I'll be in the middle of like, I'm here at this desk and I have like the screens up. I'm uploading while doing homework. I'm trying to like eat something because I forgot 8 hours ago. And then all of a sudden just everything just powers down. And I'm like, and we're done. We're done here. We've signed out. They left. They've crawled out of my ear.
I have left the library. Like, we're done.
Yeah. When we've clocked out, and I just feel like a host. Like, I actually just feel like I'm like, and right. Woo! Okay. And the dogs look at me and they're like, oh, okay, she's off. So we're good. I think it's playtime now. We're not sure. Is she back? I don't know.
Right? It's like, no. I'm just going to go into screensaver mode now, and we'll just pick this up later.
It's the old Windows one, though, where it, like, goes to some song you have on from LimeWire, and it's just, like, neon lights.
Oh, see, mine is like the maze one, right? Where like it's like the brick walls and it's like a little maze, and you're just like
That
or,
was
or the
excellent.
pipes.
The pipes. It's like no, just jamming out to the pipes.
Just pipes, dog.
Oh yeah, I'm totally installing that again. I need that in my life. Oh my god.
I'm just gonna just pipes.
Just pipes. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. In those moments, I feel like there's nothing you can do but your body speaking to you. So it's time to just listen to the body and like hydrate or sit underwater because who knows if you need a shower. Is that what it is? I don't know. Like everything's just kind of like check engine light is on. So then you have to just like go away from it and just like ask viable questions. Look at the dogs like, have we eaten? No. Okay. Do we need to go?
It's a good thing. Like I have to like have my cat's food and water like in a place where I see it when I walk by all the time, because I would absolutely forget to feed her if I didn't notice that her her dishes were empty. Sometimes she gets real bitchy with me, and I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" And then I'm like, "Oh yeah, I didn't feed you today."
What? Oh
like,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, my cat is not starving. She is just fine. But I need to have like ADHD brain out of sight, out of mind. And so if I don't see it, don't even register.
Nope. I just got on the eraser board gimmick because I have one. So I started to put eraser boards in like more than one area. So that I could be like, haha, this room has these tasks. Did
Organized
you do them?
tasks by room.
Check. Because it's out of sight, out of mind. I'll have in here, I'll be like, I need to go to the kitchen and do blah, blah, blah. And I'll get to the kitchen and forget and open the refrigerator. And I'm like, okay. So we didn't need anything from the fridge.
And then you're like, shit, I forgot to buy groceries. There's nothing in here.
Yeah, 100%. Shit, I need to go on Instacart. Oh, and then just leave, and then it's Instacart, and everyone is like, what is happening?
And then you go to open Instacart, but you absolutely forget that that's the app you're trying to open. So you just go through your normal apps of Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
So honestly, really, we just need a PA to like help take the minutes, or do right.
And like,
it really is like that.
Like somebody just give me a direction. I just need somebody to tell me something.
Yeah.
Just shout it out from the crowd. Like
anybody. Where am I today? I'm here today. Great. Fantastic. Yeah, we're starting a D&D group, so if you're interested. And a handful of us, not me, are good at it. I'm just like showing up and being like, I want to play this. I missed out on many of it.
I've never played in my life.
I've always been around it, and I'm like, I like this, and I haven't like been inside of it. So we have a thing happening, and so we're chatting in it, and I'm like, school is just a mountain of and they're discussing times and things, and I was like, hey everyone, I'm just gonna need direction, real simple, A to B. Tell me where to be. Is it today? Okay, just tell me. This is what I have. This is all I have capacity for. That's it. Someone call me.
Like, these are the things where I absolutely cannot do X, Y, and Z because I have to, like, go to work, right? Like, so Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, pretty not free. After that, just, like, tell me where you want me to be. I can adjust everything else around the things that I need to do. But, like, just tell me what you want from me. Just tell me what you want from me.
Oh yeah, like sometimes I don't remember what day it is. So if I miss a day, it's definitely not on purpose. If like we're supposed to meet, just text me. Chances are I want to meet and have no idea it's today.
Like when you messaged me the other day about this, I was like, oh shit, yeah, I forgot I do that.
I would never take it for granted. That's one thing that came up this week about like testing your friends, and I was like, no, never test your friends, because in my head I was like, I would fail, I would have no friends. Because it'd be like, I remember birthdays. I have put some in my calendar since, not because I don't remember them, but because I don't remember them. I don't know what day it is.
It's because I want to remember them.
I want to so much.
I can't guarantee that anything is going to occur, but I want you to know that I care enough that I want to know.
Yeah, that's it. We want to show up. We do. Just like remind us.
I really do. Like my best friend, she always jokes about me being late for stuff all the time. And like, there's a sliding scale of things that are important for me time-wise. Am I ever late for work? Absolutely not. I am very punctual when it comes to clocking in at my job. If I tell her that I'm going to be over on a random Sunday at like 1 or 2, that might be 3. It really just depends on if I take a nap or not.
Yeah.
And she'll hit me.
Yeah,
Oops.
me too.
She'll hit me with the "Are you coming or not?" text, and I'll be like, "On my way." And she knows I'm not on my.
Oh my god, I have to give you my anthem. I have to send it to you. It's called like "On My Way" when it's like "I'm a little late" is the hook. It's Snow the Product, and it's just like.
I would love to hear that because straight up, like, but like, you know, it's not that I don't love my best friend or value her time. It's just that to me is like in my mind like a flexible time.
Yeah.
Where like, you know, I'm meeting my best friend to hang out and probably watch like some random documentary on Netflix or whatever. Like, and my best friend is a chef, so she makes me food all the time, which is fantastic for me. Love that for me.
Yeah, love that.
Like for my birthday, we do breakfast for dinner, and then I just tell her like some weird like fancy breakfast thing I want her to make me, and then she just does it.
That's awesome. Breakfast is the best.
Yes, it is.
I'm so excited to see pictures of what you eat then.
Well, I will talk to her when I'm done here, and we'll try and figure out a time when we can do that, and then figure out what I'm having.
That's your live stream. It's just the food. It's just all the food.
Her and I have done like a live stream before where like for whatever reason there's like a gas station here that is also a European like deli where they have like a bunch of like European snacks in the gas station. But I stop there all the time and get like European snacks. So one time I got a bunch of snacks and I made us try them on stream. And I would always make her, so like I'm a super picky eater. So I would always make her try stuff first. And then she could tell me if she thought I would like it or not. And then if she thought that I would like it, then I would also try it.
Okay. I'm into it. I'm into it. I think it's really funny that this gas station just like has these snacks.
Yeah. It's just like a local like chain of like gas stations. And at least 2 that I've been to have these like European snacks. I like to stop because I can get like especially if I'm craving chocolate, they have these candy bars. They're like a Milka brand. And I think they're from like Eastern Europe, if I'm kind of ballparking it.
Ooh.
But it's really good. It's better than US chocolate. And so if I'm going to like really want to like go there, like I'll stop and pick up like, 2.
Their chocolate is so much better. It's just better.
It is.
It really is.
Like, I also found too that we have like a store that sells a bunch of stuff from the UK, and like when I went there and I got stuff for me and my bestie, I spent $100.
Easy.
On just
yeah.
snacks.
I'm not even surprised. I'm like, yes, that's the easy $100 for sure.
Yeah, I got us all kinds of good stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And they have like a bakery. I got to have like, so like, do you ever watch like the Great British Bake Off?
I haven't. It's been recommended. I know. It's there.
It is a comfort show for me, but it makes me want to try like UK like baked goods so badly. And then I found out that this place has a bakery. Oh, game changer.
What?
I had like one of the things that they always make on Bake Off, or like they do like a riff on Bake Off, is like a Bakewell tart. And I've always wanted one, and I finally got to have one. It was so good too.
Really?
Like I had like a whole moment. Like it was delightful.
Ooh, oh, that's awesome. Oh my god. Yeah. My favorite thing from over there was their Battenberg, because it's a weird little pastry, and it's like it looks checkerboard. It's like pink and white. It puts little you could put apricot jam in there or whatever, and there's marzipan wrapped in it. It's really
They've
good.
made that on Bake Off before.
It's really good. I used to make it. Just
What?
yeah.
Just for fun?
Yeah, there was a time where I took an internship to be a baker while I was wrestling for just whatever, just because I wanted to learn. And then I was like, oh, okay. So I got like, I was learning, and then I would go home, and I was just like so into it that my free time, I would just try things out. And like, I couldn't get it to be small. I needed molds. So I made it like closer to like Entenmann's size, like the Entenmann's pound cake. And then I did like that, and then I made like checkerboard little like.
That sounds so delightful.
Gone in a night.
Oh yeah.
Take all day to make it, and then just gone over a movie.
Well, I like I said, super picky eater, but also like big fat chick. And sweets are like my absolute weakness, and baked goods are like the best and worst for me. I love them.
Baked goods, yeah. Baked goods are delicious. I would do a tour of Europe again. Like, I would go over the UK. I would go wrestle over there again just for the tour of the pastries.
Solo's wrestling pastry tour.
Yeah. I'm wrestling the pastries, really.
Square up.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for hanging out, by the way.
Yeah.
I really love all of this. We've covered a lot. Is there any other in-depth topic we should bring up for people? Should we roll it out to the people in the chat? Are there any questions you have for us? Do you want us to uncover any Earths that we haven't yet?
I've gotten kind of away from the topic at hand, but in that regard, like, I think that, like, you've made me feel very comfortable. We've shared this somewhat intimate moment together where I've told you all about my life and all kinds of good stuff. And I've enjoyed talking with you. It's been a lot of fun. It
has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
I'm a chatty bitch.
I love it. I'm here for I'm here. I could be here till 9. That's when I'm scheduled, but I'm here. But I really do. I know it can be something to open up and talk about anything from how much sex we like to how we grew up. Like, all of those things kind of still feel tingly in some ways. And some people might be excited to talk about one more than the other, but that is also dependent on the person. But I love all of those conversations, especially getting to know you so well. A little bit better anyway, upon like a couple hours chatting.
Well, and I think too that, like, your whole life experiences, everything that you've been through and are going through and deal with, especially, having to go to a therapist and having ADHD and having other mental health differences, like, all of that colors how you have intimate relationships with people, right? Like, nothing is a standalone piece. Like, you can't have one thing without the other. It all interconnects and is interwoven. And I think that that's something that sometimes people maybe don't like connect, where it's like, oh no, like, you feel this way about something in your romantic relationship because of these experiences you maybe had as a kid, or this other relationship you had with somebody that wasn't even a romantic relationship. It doesn't always have to be to impact you in that way.
Yeah. I really try to like invite those that get to like catch us or start to pick up on the show to just kind of ask yourself more questions and be curious. I've learned, and maybe it's just wrestling, I doubt it though. I say it, but I have to say it, it's we're so hard on ourselves. And there's so much criticizing, and there's so much extra like rocks on our chest, right, that we come down on, and then that coupled with any of our mental health issues that we're struggling with, and all of the other external factors that we internalize, like our output then has all of those filters. So sometimes we aren't really necessarily like seeing what's in front of us. And that can be good or bad. that that can go either way, right? So like there's so right, like that could be like all of these factors help me see that now this relationship is no good, or I see that this relationship is good, and then it turns out like this is not good for me, right? Like there's all of those things that just, and then that's like a spectrum of things that happen. But the inquiry and the curiosity, rather than coming at it with adversity, I feel would change a lot of the level of impact, the impact it has on us, how detrimental it can feel, the weight that we carry for the length of time. So via an experiment, if we approach ourselves with curiosity and compassion, we're able to handle that potentially with more resilience and grace, which allows us to go through the emotions more efficiently than with more strife and with more pain and with more anguish and weight and stress and all of that, because then it's muddier to see clearly. That could cause like longer issues or compound them.
Yeah, I think it's good to just, look inward and examine yourself and how everything you've encountered and dealt with impact everything else, and to see how interconnected things are.
Yeah. I do. I feel like we're all connected. That's like a thing that we're covering in our class in ethics that I don't really know if I'm doing well in or not in that way. Because like I love ethics, but they are very emotionless, right? Ethics is like, you have to just kind of like, what is best for the people and where do you come from with that? But prior, I took an ethics class that also had morality and positive psychology. So now that's blended. So if we approached everything from our moral ethical circle with that universal love and consciousness that we're all on the same side, and we're not like looking adversely at each other, but we're all from the same, how would that change things? Would our ethics be impacted if we all saw each other under the same light?
Yeah. That's a heavy question to think about.
I know. I can't help myself. I can't. But you came to mind when I did this show. I don't know if you remember this. When we did one of the Mania weekends, after I had busted my hip, and I was taped up, and I think this was it Indiana? It must have been.
I was in Indiana.
Yeah.
For Collective.
The Collective, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was during the COVID, and like they tried to like do the reschedule, and I was like taped up. I had all the KT tape, and I think your room was like on the way or past hours, and I was trying to like hide my hip, even though I wasn't gonna lie about it. Like if anyone asked me, I would have told them that I'm not gonna be like, no, I'm fine, but I didn't want to like worry anyone. So I would, I was like taped up and I had all the CBD creams everywhere. Like I was just like, I was basically Bengay. Like I was lathered in just like survival. And I would get to the match, I'd be able to wrestle and the adrenaline would kick in and I'd be able to do the moves as we laid them out. And then the second that got cold, like I was unable to walk again. And like, I probably shouldn't have been wrestling, but whatever. You were right behind us at one point, and I was like, I could have been embarrassed, but I had so much going on, and the suitcase and the thing, because I was like, oh no, Val's there, and like I don't want to worry anyone, and things are happening. And I'm like holding the wall like a murder victim. I was like, like it was like The Shining. The hallway became so long and I'm like holding myself up on the wall. I was so dramatic, but it was all in my head because outside nothing was happening. And that's like a moment I remember. You were just so cool. Like either you didn't notice or you noticed and you were like, yep, that's fine. Like, but whatever it was so comfortable. and like you played the space so well that like I just felt okay just being like slowly declining to the carpet before we got to the room. So thank you for that. I really appreciate how cool you were with my hobbling ass.
So a couple of things. That's so weird. So a couple of things. Number one, like I'm surprised that you remember that. I'm surprised that you even knew who I was. I'm always surprised that anybody. Like I feel invisible at all times. I am always surprised that anybody notices me out in a public space or anywhere ever. So like that's very interesting to me that you even recognize that I was back there. I remember it because I was like kind of concerned. I was like, oh, I hope that she's okay. I didn't know if it was like a physical thing or like I had no idea because I don't, like I knew you from, your work in the ring and like from wrestling and like whatever you posted on social media. But like, you and I, we're not friends. Like you were just, somebody that I casually kind of knew and like never had talked to before. I'm so surprised that you even recognized us back there. Cause yeah, you were right in front of us. And I was like, look, whatever's going on, like I'm not my place, not the time. Like, I'm not going to say anything. Yeah. Like, I will just let her go about her business. And, like, there was nothing for me to do or say. Like, I was just going to be like, if it were me, I would just want to be invisible. So I will just like extend that courtesy. Like in my head, like if I were having problems with anything, right? Like, yeah, I just want to disappear into the floor. Like,
I was like, fuck, Val's watching me disappear. No. But I just really appreciate it. It stayed with me forever. I was like, thank you for being so cool about it. And like, I didn't know either. I was like, oh no, are people going to worry? Like, is this going to be people? Like, I didn't know if you had a circle that was then going to be like, are you injured? And then I was just like, oh no. And then like, you were just like, yep, like she's melting, whatever. I don't know. Look at the ceiling now, fucking whatever. And I was like, yay. So I thank you so much for that intimate moment that we never spoke about.
Again, I'm so surprised that you even recognized that was me back there. I'm surprised that you remember it. Like in like the grand scheme of like all of the things that occurred in the last like 3 years, like that you remember that singular moment to me.
Cool as a cucumber, and I was like.
Like, things I'm not going to do is, like, if it looks like someone's having a hard time, I'm not going to make that worse for you. Like, I will let you do your thing. You were handled.
Check if I have a pulse on the ground. Slowly.
Well, like, because I remember, like, you had your pup and Willow was with you. So I was like, if you were just laying on the ground, I would have checked on you.
Super funny. If the whole thing had played out like that would have been high key funny. But thank you though.
But I could see that you were being taken care of. You were safe. You were with people that were safe. If you were with somebody that looked like a fucking weirdo, I probably said something. But you were with people that were safe. You were safe.
Oh my god!
I could tell that you were, just having a time, and I didn't know what it was, because like those hallways were really fucking trippy.
They were.
And I was like, I don't know if she's like injured. I don't know if she's like on something. Like I don't know. But it's not my place to know. It's not my place to judge. You're with people that care for you and you're safe, and that was what was important to me. So I was just gonna let you do your thing until it
was my thing.
I'm like, nope. I'm just gonna let her. She's safe, so that's important. That's the important part. She's with people that care for her, and she's safe. So I'll just let her do her thing, and then I'll just do mine. Like, because like, and I know too that like, especially it's so weird to me that you remember, because like that was like it's easily 2.5 years ago, because that was October of 2020. That was the first wrestling thing I traveled for.
Wow.
Yeah, other than like I went to WrestleMania in 2017, but I didn't do any indie stuff. I was just WrestleMania, and that was it.
Yeah.
So that was like a whole different experience for me of like just being like 3 days around all of these people that I didn't know and only knew from Twitter and stuff. And like
You're just watching like some wrestlers melt. I'm sure I wasn't the only one, but that's really funny.
and it's like I know too that like like dirt sheets and people talking shit are like a whole big thing, and like I wasn't going to like really if I wanted to be a real fucking asshole about it, I could have like taken a sneaky pic and posted it on Twitter and talked all kinds of shit. But like that's just not who I am as a person.
Yeah,
ever.
it would have looked like I was trying to do the Elaine dance or something, and it just would have looked awful.
And like I said, like I didn't know what was going on, like and people would have just fucking speculated like the worst possible shit. Oh, she's hurt. Why should she be wrestling? Or like, like
valid questions.
I mean, but not for random strangers to propose.
This is true.
I'm so surprised that you noticed it was me, remembered, and then like it's like had like something that you thought about. And like I was with my sister at the time, so I'll have to.
Oh no way! Yeah, let her know. Like I appreciate you both. Thank you very much.
No. If someone's having a hard time, I'm not going to make that time any harder.
Exactly. No. That's how I feel about it. And like when I saw it play through, I was like, yeah, all right, okay, cool, we're cool. Like this is cool. I like this. This is good. And it circled back. I mean, I did Grit and Glitter, but then like when I was doing this, I was like, yeah, I gotta hit up Val. Yeah, it's for that cool time. So. On that note, let everybody know where they can find you and send you birthday gifts.
I am Val Pancakes pretty much everywhere. And Instagram, I'm Val.Pancakes because Val Pancakes is taken. I registered. I'm on TikTok. I don't really post anything. TikTok is truly like my non-wrestling space. It is. I don't follow any wrestling on TikTok. It is all like craft videos and food and ASMR and all kinds of just random shit to like help me zone out, so I don't have to worry about being like Val Pancakes like on TikTok. Like nobody wants that. And so, but I'm like most active on Twitter, like Val Pancakes on Twitter, or like I said, Val.Pancakes on Instagram. I have Cash App. It's $sign Val Pancakes, and you can send me dollars there. I also have Venmo. It's Val Pancakes 2, like the number 2. I probably do have regular Val Pancakes, but I think I just forgot all of the login information and I just don't use it. So don't send money there. I won't get it.
Val Pancakes 2, everyone. 2.
2. It's the second one I had to make. And then I do have PayPal. It is by request. But my DMs are open on Twitter. If you really like, if you want to send me money, I will take that money any way you want to send it to me.
Amen.
And I have my Amazon wish list linked in my bio. So.
Oh, awesome! Thank you so much.
There's a lot of cool moving supplies on there because I'm going to be moving.
We love moving supplies.
Right? Like totes and boxes and all kinds of cute stuff.
I love that. Oh my God. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing where everyone can keep up to date with you. Thank you everyone that was in the chat today, everyone that popped in to say hello and hung out and watched our deep talks. Our deep talks today. Stay tuned for next Sunday where we're either going to game or do something a little different, but we will be here. And the Threat of Intimacy episode 5 will air in 2 weeks right here. Same bat time. And Bat channel, and I said it a different way, so Batman can't get mad. Thank you all so much. Stay tuned. Catch me for updates at Regulation Solo Darling on Instagram, or here on Twitch, where you have me right now. And there's a Discord link below on my channel. I'm pointing down because I hope it's below me on the little screen thing that you're watching us through. Check out our Discord, where we're growing a wonderful community full of memes, pet yelps, mental health help, neuro spicy information, and Thor! Lots and lots of Thor. We love you all. Please be safe. Stay hydrated. Okay? Stay hydrated. If you're going to take big risks, also stay hydrated. And bring an emergency backpack filled with extra underwear.
If you don't have a go bag, you're not doing it right.
Exactly. Pack your go bag, everyone. Good night.